In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how we figure out what is and what is not selling on eBay, especially those items that we've never sold before. Stay tuned. We all know that there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of different items you can resell or just sell on eBay. You know, magnets, fishing equipment, clothing, shoes, electronics, etc., etc. But how do you know exactly what is and what is not selling on eBay? In this brief video, I'm going to show you how exactly we figure this out, especially when we are running into items that we've never seen before. In fact, this item I've never even heard before, but I know I'm going to be profitable reselling it on eBay. Let's quickly define two things. Let's look at the macro search and a micro search on eBay. Macro meaning, let's say something like Nike shoes. We can simply type in Nike shoes and we can filter the ones that are for sale and the ones that are sold, and we can see that there's a macro economy on eBay for Nike shoes, various sizes, styles, condition, etc. Now the micro version of that would be to type in something like Nike 5.0 TR training shoes. Now there's a micro market for that specific style or brand. Same thing you can do with toys, of course. In this example, these are toys, so that's what we're going to do. The first step in figuring out if something has a really good market on eBay is to figure out the macro first. Is there even an audience for this stuff is the question you need to ask yourself before you decide to just throw your money away on something that you thought was a good seller. Let me show you what I recently picked up and how I figured out this is a really good buy. Or maybe potentially I'm just throwing my money away, right? But I don't do that, and there's a reason why we've sold over $250,000 on eBay, mostly part-time, and why our ROI is over 370%. So here's the stuff that I just bought off of someone here locally in my city off of Facebook Marketplace, local pickup. And if you're like, well, I have no idea what this is. Is this a hamster wheel? Is this a cage for a small cat? Those are great questions because I honestly have never seen or heard of this before. But let me show you the title or the advertisement that drew me to this listing. Here it is right on the screen here. It's something called Beyblade, and they were selling a whole lot of them. Beyblade lots. And honestly, never heard of them. Have no idea what they are, but they're asking 50 bucks. Did they get 50 bucks? They did. They were firm on 50. I tried 25, I tried 40, they were firm on 50, but that's okay. Apparently what these are almost, they remind me of like the robot, like battle robots. Basically you take this doohickey here and you tie it or feed the doohickey into this doohickey. You hit the trigger and it spins, right? That's the whole purpose of these. They're like little spinners. And then apparently there's some sort of game. I honestly have no idea. I'm gonna learn about this stuff with you because I have not yet looked up the micro, right? I looked up the macro. But as you can see here, it's a whole bunch of them. A lot of them are metal, and apparently those are the ones that are sought after. And then you have some accessories and some of these triggers and these whatever, you know, I don't know what this is. I'm not making this up. I have no idea. And then you have these arenas, right? You have these play sets where you actually do the spinny twirly whirly stuff inside of them. Now, some of these are super, you know, basic. Like this one's in really good condition. It's not broken. It is that exact brand, right? The Beyblade brand is right on there. So this one could be worth some money. This one over here is a bit cracked and damaged, so it's probably just going to be recycling. And then this one is a little bit more sturdy. There's some sort of score system. This is great, right? I honestly have no idea. But apparently you play the game somehow. Looks like this is a 4-player setup or something like that. We'll see if this is worth anything. This one doesn't seem to, oh, there's a little damage here that might affect it. I honestly don't know if it's worth anything. And then there's one more here that's kind of, you know, basic. So I think the money is going to be in these spinners, specifically in the ones that are made out of metal or a bit more, you know, higher quality. So I paid 50 for all of it. I did the macro search, and I'll pop up the macro search right next to me. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, so you're just gonna have to look at the screen here. I'm gonna type in Beyblades, I'm gonna search for them, I'm gonna search used. All I'm going to look for here in the macro search is how many of these are available used versus how many have sold in the last 90 days used. This is going to give me a good idea if there's enough of a market where I can make some money flipping this on eBay. Now let's sit down on the laptop. You're gonna hear my radio voice. I'm gonna voice it over. Let's search the micro and see potentially how much money we can make here. Okay, sitting behind the laptop, I'm here on eBay.com. I'm just going to search Beyblade again. I'm gonna see what I should be looking out for in this bundle. Scroll down and click the used condition. And then I'm going to go to the ones that have already sold because that's what I really care about. There's a lot of listings, but I want to see what's actually selling. And once I click that, it's going to sort it by end recently, and you can change this by time listed, lowest or highest price, or nearest first, which is pretty irrelevant in this search. I'm just going to see what the recent solds are because I'm interested to see what people are actually buying. So here's one that sold for 14 bucks free ship. This is a first class shipping item, so I'm going to assume about $4. So it looks like this rare Takara Tommy blade is worth about 10 bucks by itself. There's one that's worth about 15 by itself. Here's a whole bunch of stuff altogether for 80. Here's an auction from Japan. This one ended on one bid for 100 bucks. So there's a whole bunch of different variations. Here's a lot of them. So somebody decided, hey, I'm just going to lot everything up. I'm not interested in selling them individually. That's definitely an option. This, of course, saves on time because you're just getting rid of everything. A couple more lots on bids. Now here I can learn that this is called a ripcord, right? It says right there, it's one dragon ripcord. And if I look inside of my box here right to the right of me, I have a few of those, so I know I can at least get 10 bucks roughly for a ripcord. Now, I'm not sure how they figure out the name of this. So this is the Hell Salamander. Not sure, how they identify them. So that's something that I have to figure out. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. So there's nothing directly on it. So this person just must know their stuff. This is just me learning. So here's one that sold for 44 or 45 shipped. I'm going to type in trigger and see if I can figure out how much the actual trigger is worth. All right, so now I can see that a trigger, there's 4 results. Looks like they're selling for about 20 shipped. This might not be the best way to search for them, so I'm going to go ahead and unclick this completed and unclick the solds. And let's see if there's another name for it because I'm not really sure what it's called. Let's see if I can try launcher. Okay, that looks more like it. Just make sure that they're used. And again, I'm going to go over to sold. Okay, and now again, I'm just looking through and see what the rough value is for some of this stuff. Looks like a lot of people are just lotting them up, which is something that I might consider doing. I might try to find a couple of them and pull them out separately. But it looks like most of the sales are coming in lots, especially for the stuff that's used. So now the last thing I'm going to look for is the actual arena, the trays basically that that I have several of. And here I can see this is like one of the cheaper ones that I have. Let me change this to highest to see what which ones are most desirable. That's not just a lot of stuff. So looks like this swirly one is worth about 60 bucks plus shipping. And anytime you do this, the fun part is that you learn, right? So I paid $50 for all of this stuff, and it's basically a $50 crash course into a brand new category of toys that I've never heard of before. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to pay $50 to train myself. So now I know if I see this type of stuff again in the future, I know roughly what some of it is worth, and I know roughly what to pick up and what not to pick up, right? So even, let's say I break even on this deal, I'm perfectly fine with that because the amount of information that I gathered from it is very important if you're going to be a successful reseller. Looks like most arenas are being sold in lots. So maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll just lot everything up, pull a couple of the metal ones. The metal ones seem to be the ones that are sought after. So let's see what happens if I type in Beyblade Metal Fusion. And I'm going to change this to recently ended. And I'm going to make sure again that I'm looking at used because that's what I have. And it looks like now I have to figure out what this actually means. What part of this is actually metal. But it looks like some of these metal ones are worth a little bit more than just your standard. Here's one of these launchers. I have one very similar to this one. Here's one that's worth 20 bucks, or 15 plus shipping. So yeah, this is roughly what I expected. When I initially found this listing, I was thinking about $10 to $15 per blade or Beyblade, and then take the loose stuff and lot it up. Super easy to ship, super easy to photograph, just 2 or 3 pictures each, and then just post them. Offer free shipping because it's first class, and I can just price in the $4 or $5 to ship any of them individually. And then the rest of the stuff, just lot it up as a replacement lot and go from there. Now there are some of these. If I go to the last thing I want to show you, that if I go to highest, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to do a minus lot. That basically says that I just want to look at Beyblade Fusions, but not anything with the word lot in it. And now let's see if I can find any of these rare ones, right? Maybe. And if I can, then I know what to look out for. So rare meaning, hey, they're worth about 30, 40 bucks. Some of these are worth a lot more, but the chances of me finding one that's extremely rare are probably pretty low. So here, more of those triggers, so that's good. Anyways, this is the way to train yourself, especially when it comes to a brand new category that you've never dealt with before. Based off of those quick searches, it seems like these ones are worth the most amount of money. They are made out of metal, and they have some sort of symbol on each of them. Now, I'm not sure what those are, but I should be able to identify them via Google Lens and figure out what they're worth. Now, I'm not sure if these are worth, 25, 30 bucks a piece, but these ones seem to be the ones to look out for. These ones seem a little bit more modern. They're made out of plastic, but they're complete. If I twist on the bottom here, this has a spring in it and it pops open. So they're like, battle robots basically, where you spin them around, they go spin around, and they destroy the opponent. But some of these have a metal piece inside of them, and the other ones have plastic inside of them. So I'm not sure if that's going to make a huge difference or not. Based on that super simple search, these should be worth about $10 each. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50. So there's 150 plus ship right here. If these are worth a little bit more, great. And I still have no idea what this stuff is. So these seem to be some sort of launching pads or something. I really don't know. Some have markings, most don't. They are branded. Honestly, have no idea. I didn't see any comps for this stuff. So I'll take out my phone and do a quick Google Lens search and see what I can find. Here's that trigger. This should be worth about 20 bucks or so. And then here's everything else that's just kind of spare parts and loose parts. Most likely I'll search through here one more time, and then the rest of them I'm going to lot up. And then here's that ripcord. So each one of these ripcords is worth about 5 bucks or so. So there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, just in ripcords. So here's my, roughly my money back right here. And of course, there's all of this stuff. Hopefully that helps you guys. Definitely look at the macroeconomics of the category or item that you're looking to sell first. Then dive deep into it. It's okay to take some risks on stuff because, hey, at the end of the day, I can probably just get my 50 bucks back if I posted this on local Facebook Marketplace. But most likely, there's at least $200-300 worth of stuff here, plus shipping on top. So I'm happy with that investment. And again, it's $50 that I paid for a quick education into a brand new toy category that I've never heard of before. And you can do this with anything, with fishing reels, with, vintage lingerie, with tools, with car parts, whatever you want. You can figure out the macroeconomics and then look at the micro. If you search the macro and you see that there's 10,000 available, but in the last 90 days only 500 of that type of items sold, you should probably stay away from it, because it's not something that's going to be flying off the shelf. If you do the macro and find that there's 10,000 available of some certain item and 9,000 have sold in the last 90 days, you should probably look deeper into that, figure out the microeconomics of that particular item. I hope you found this video helpful at all. If you did, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like more content like this. Let me know in the comment section below if you found any value, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.